Hi everyone, my name is Steve Mancher, Assistant Manager, Student Athlete Services, University of Toronto, and with me is Shakib Ahmed, the coordinator of our Academic Support Program. And we are here to guide you through a presentation today outlining different support mechanisms and strategies available to you to succeed here as a Varsity Blues student athlete. But our first welcome, and I'll welcome you on behalf of our athletic director, is welcome to the Varsity Blues family. We are large. We are one of the largest programs in North America with 42 teams and over 800 student athletes. But before we get going, let's acknowledge an opportunity to pat yourself on the back. Getting yourself into the University of Toronto is quite the accomplishment. The University of Toronto ranks among the best schools in the world. Amongst all the different rankings of universities out there, University of Toronto is number one in Canada and amongst the top 20 to 25 in the world. So you should feel really proud that you've made your first step in getting into such a world recognized university. It's also a very exciting time to be a Varsity Blues student athlete. Over the last 5 to 6 years, there's been tremendous facility development, most notably with the Goldring Center for High Performance Sport. That this building, along with our connection to the faculty, the professors at the Faculty of Kinesiology here at the University of Toronto, gives you access to the best and most current research in the field. And those people work together with what we call integrated support teams to bring that leading edge research into your training and in development. You will learn here at the University of Toronto, they like to use this term learning outcomes or learning goals for the day. So for our particular presentation, the goals set forth for this first year athlete orientation are to meet with fellow Varsity Blues student athletes because one of the big messages that we um, that is inherent to being a Varsity Blues student athlete is the terminology blues supporting blues. And that is your fellow Varsity Blues student athletes are going to be your biggest support system because they know exactly what you're going through. You're going to get to meet or at least see the pictures of our intercollegiate staff, the group of members whose sole job is to provide structure and a framework that allows you to succeed as a Varsity Blue student athlete athletically. We're going to show you the support systems available to you, both from a health perspective and an academic perspective that surrounds you, that allows you to hopefully succeed here and move on towards graduation. The one thing about University of Toronto, and we're trying to not alarm anyone when we give out this presentation, is you will have challenges along the way. Okay, you're going to get challenged athletically by your coaching staff to strive and push you to become a better athlete. From an academics perspective, you're going to have some challenges along the way. It's not going to be easy. All right, and I don't want to act as your parents, but I'm sure you've heard the terminology anything worth in life isn't supposed to be easy. But because you're going to have those challenges, it doesn't necessarily mean it's impossible. And we like to tout sort of two different stats to help give you some perspective that while you are going to have some challenges along the way, we graduate with our Varsity Blues student athlete at a rate of 92%. That is higher than the university average. So more than 9 out of 10 of you sitting in this room are going to proceed to graduation within sort of 4 to 5 years. The second stat, which we're very, very proud of, is roughly 1 in 4 of Varsity Blues student athletes last year achieved an all academic status. That means they had grades of 80% or above, while being a high performance student athlete at one of the best universities of the world. So you can do it. It will take effort on your behalf, but you can be a successful student athlete doing both. Here's an outline of sort of the intercollegiate team. Okay, we're under the leadership of Betha Lee, who is our executive director of athletics and physical activity. And our group sort of split into two. On the left side of the screen, you're going to see sort of the business team, and it is led by Melissa Christ. She is the manager of intercollegiate sport. Alongside of her on sort of the business team, you have Kevin Souza, who is the manager of our blue and white division sports, and Sam Acero, who is the equipment manager for Varsity Blues. He is very known in the football and men's hockey realm as he spends an awful lot of time with each teams. The line below is the two people that you're going to meet today, and we are sort of the athlete services team. So I am the assistant manager of student athlete services, and Shakib is the coordinator of our academic support program and athlete services. On the right side of the screen is sort of the other half of sort of this big engine, and that is the events, marketing, and sport information team, and that is led by Mary Beth Challoner. Mary Beth is a former Varsity Blues women's hockey player, and she takes great pride in leading her team in providing the best in terms of production of events, the best in sport information, and the best in sort of marketing our Varsity Blues teams and athletes. Our events team, and these are the two people that are responsible for coordinating, staffing, and executing all of the 300 plus home events we have, are led by Lily and Cam. Cam is also a former Varsity Blues men's hockey player. To the right of them is our athletic communications team, led by Jill Clark, also a former Varsity Blues women's hockey player, and new to our team this year is Nick Alessi. On the bottom line, we have Connor Oswald, and he's in charge of our community partnerships and marketing. He very much links in with community groups and groups on campus to try and get them out to games. And Ivan Canetti has a large title. He's in charge of our Under Armour agreements. He's in charge of ticketing. He's in charge of merchandise, and he's in charge of concessions. So he has a large portfolio that connects with a number of teams. Beside them are the four names of assistants that are all working under the events marketing sport information team. So Mark is working with Jill and Nick in athletic communications. Caleb is the assistant to Lily and Cam for events. Jake is helping out Ivan with merchandise and ticketing, and Taylor is helping out Connor with marketing. So what are we about? We are about so when Bessa Lee, our executive director of athletics, arrived at University of Toronto, she created four pillars of excellence. And these four pillars are the standards upon which we as a staff are going to evaluate ourselves. The first is athletic excellence. Make no mistake, we are about winning here at the University of Toronto, and we want to win. And last year, you can see we won a number of OUA championships, the most in the province. We are about academic excellence. We are at one of the best schools, as mentioned, in the world, and we want all of our student athletes to persist to graduation. And as previously mentioned, we had 28% of all Varsity Blues athletes last year achieve all academic status. We are about community service and giving back. And you will hear a lot about a program we call Blues Buddy Up, which is where student athletes go into local TDSB and TDCAA elementary schools to deliver a curriculum-based program based on the acronym BLUES. And we are about developing leaders. And first and foremost, you will see that in what's called Varsity Board, which is a governance group made up of student athletes representing all of our Varsity Blues teams, where they come to meet on a monthly basis to discuss matters pertaining to student athletes. This presentation, there's going to be three themes that we're going to discuss today. The first one is something you're going to hear an awful lot, and it's durability is a skill. Durability meaning for your ability for your body to bounce back. That allows you to be in an intense training session and be able to recover for the next day's training session or competition. And that is a skill that you have control over. Okay. To ensure durability of your body, you need to follow your strength and conditioning program. You need to seek advice from your student therapist. Make sure you're following your rehabilitation. You want to manage stress in your life. We like to use the term of being balanced, of having a balance between your academic, your athletic, and your social well-being. You need to feed yourself accordingly and eat yourself well, and we have access to nutrition resources available to you. And actually, a number one thing that that's a big issue and what we report with our full-time coaches is the biggest factor impacting high performance student athletes is lack of sleep. And particularly here, and especially for you here in first year, where a number of your professors are not going to care whether you go to class, um, to ensure that you get yourself 6 to 8 hours of sleep on a daily basis to allow your body to recover and recoup so it allows you to be ready for that next set of days training or your competitions coming up for the weekend. Here you see a very professor-like chart, and it basically talks about something we call eustress. And along this curve, particularly in the middle, is sort of where eustress exists. And for most people actually work their best when they have a little bit of stress in their lives because it allows them to have a complete focus on what they're doing. The danger, of course, is if you get into the two areas where you see distress. And we see this an awful lot where things don't go your way, and then there becomes a very apathetic approach, particularly to your studies. And this is actually a danger zone because if you allow your studies to get out of hand early, it can really manifest itself on it. And on the other end of the spectrum, which we do see sometimes with student athletes, is burnout. That they go full throttle on everything that they do, and then they hit a wall, and all of a sudden they need time to just need to find time to slow themselves down. So trying to find balance in your life, trying to find sort of the creative balance between your academic studies, your commitment to your athletes, finding time for yourself is very important. The second theme for today is ownership. Okay, the university treats you as an adult. We all here, staff are here, it's job to help you and guide you through the university process, but you have to take personal responsibility over your entire academic studies. And this is a big one. Ignorance cannot be used as an excuse at any level. You cannot say you didn't know. Okay? You have a responsibility to research the academic rules responsible to you. And if you need assistance with that, come to either myself or Shakib, and we're here to assist. I'm now going to show you a series of 3 videos, and it's meant sort of as an analogy for taking ownership. And for those of you that are in track and field, it showcases 3 high jumpers. The first one is analogous to for some of you here, you're going to find university as easy as clearing the bar. For most of you, your university life will be very much linked into sort of the second one, whereas you are for sure uh, belong here at the university, but in that particular case, you just hit the bar. You ran into a bit of trouble, but you're gonna persevere so that you can make sure on your next attempt you're clearing the bar. The third one is meant to be more of a funny one, and it is actually an Olympic gold medalist. and it is from a track meet in Europe over the summer. And it happened on a day where he apparently broke up with his partner and decided to drink himself silly before he took to jumping that night. You will see the results.